Okay, this is Mr. Postiglione for Holy Trinity High School. I'm going to go over your test number one, this Wednesday. It is September 7th, 2020. We're still in the midst of this pandemic, and we're doing a lot of things remotely. I promised you I would do a YouTube every week. This is like, I don't know, the third YouTube that I've made for you. This one expressly is for preparation for the test number one. Okay, I'm looking at test number one right now. I made it yesterday, and number one is your friend Axel the ant is on the ruler again, and there are arrows pointing to spots on the ruler where he starts and where he stops. Okay. The important thing to remember is when you have a ruler, the ruler is graduated. Okay. Say this is 1, 2, 3. Okay. You'll have the half marks are vertical lines that are a little shorter than the inch marks, and then it keeps on separating. It keeps on graduating until you have halves, quarters, eighths, and sixteenths. Okay, this one here, of course, this is 1/4, 2/4, 3/4, 4/4. Okay. Now the smallest one here I have is in eighths. Now I know they're eighths because I can count 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. There's 8 parts to each inch. So if they're equal parts and there's 8 of them, each one is 1/8. Now on the test, I think it might be one. Yeah, it's sixteenths. It's actually even smaller than this. But the next thing you have to know is, if the arrow is here, well, that looks like 1, 2, 3. That looks like 3/4 or 3/4. All right, over here, this might be 1 2/4, 1 4/8, or 1.5. Okay. Now, the next thing you have to remember is if they're asking you for halfway, which this question is going to do that. It's going to do that. I'm telling you right now. What you do is you locate A. Say A is 3/4. 3/4 of an inch. Maybe the little Axel the ant starts there, and he goes way over here maybe. Okay, well that's 1, 2. Okay, that looks like 2 3/4. Now the trick I told you to find the midpoint was you add these and divide by 2. Now don't forget to divide by 2. All right, but the reason this works is because 3/4 is a distance, and 2 3/4 is another distance. And to find the midpoint of them, what you're actually doing is finding an average of them, of these two distances. Okay, you're taking this long one and this short one, and just pretend that you're adding this short one onto the long one. Well, if you divide that in half, you'll see it'll be right down the middle between A and B. Okay? Just also remember how to add fractions and how to divide by 2. That's the reason I gave you the problem. Okay? Not only just measuring with a ruler, but working with fractions. All right? Half the test is working with fractions. You're going to have to know how to work, going to have to remember how to work with fractions when you get into geometry, when Ms. Raman comes next week. Okay, and she is coming next week, starting Monday. You haven't seen the last of me. I'm probably going to be around the building from time to time, but officially, my last day is this Friday. Okay. Now, the thought just came to me that you're going to do the test Wednesday. Those of you that are in my classroom, I'm actually going to hand out, well, I'm planning on doing this anyway. I'm planning on handing out physical papers that the test is on, and you'll just turn them in at the end of the period. Okay, there's 25 questions. You have the whole period to do it as usual. Those of you at home will go to Schoology and just download the test from Schoology. Okay, all right. That was number one. Number two. You know what rectangles are. You know what squares are. I introduced you to rhombus. Rhombus is just a four-sided figure whose sides are all congruent. Okay, just like the square, but the square is different because it has 90-degree interior angles. Okay, a rectangle has 90-degree interior angles too, but all the sides do not have to be congruent. They do not have to be equal. Once you know that, if you're asked, okay, a rhombus has one side that's 10. Well, I know the perimeter is 10 plus 10 plus 10 plus 10, right? It's 4 times 10. If they want the area, now you're multiplying 10 times 10 to get 100 square units. Okay, remember the square units. Right? We talked about that. The next one I want to show you, and this gave you a little problem on the last quiz. If you're adding, let's make it interesting. Let's say that this is minus 2/9. Okay. I've seen this on ACT tests. You really can't convert it to decimals. Not going to help you because 2/9 and 1/3, okay, are they're not non-terminating decimals. Remember, they just never stop. 0.333333. Okay. 2/5, of course, is 0.4. That you could, but the other ones you can't. So you could do this one of two ways. You could find the common denominator of all of them. Maybe 45. 3 goes into 45 15 times. 15 times 1 is 15. 5 into 45 goes 9 times. 9 times 2 is 18. 9 goes into 45 5 times. 5 times 2 is 10. But don't forget you're subtracting. Okay? So you could do the arithmetic. All right? I'm not gonna waste your time. The other way to do this, of course, is piecemeal. Just taking these. You could use the flying X that I taught you. 3 times 5 is 15. 1 times 5 is 5. 2 times 3 is 6. So you got 11 over 15, right? Minus 2/9. Okay. Well, you could do the flying X again. 9 times 15, 45. Let's see, that looks like 135. This is 99 minus 30, right? So this looks like 69 over 135 would be the answer. And let's see, 5, 8. Oh, that's divisible by 3, isn't it? 3 into this goes 45 times. 3 into this goes 23 times. So 23 over 45. Okay, it's ugly, but it's right. And this one's not going to be on the test. There'll be a different one. All right. Be prepared for that. Let's see. There's going to be a simplifying question that has division, it has multiplication. Take a look at those. You know, it was something like 4a divided by 2a times 6 minus 4. I don't know, something like this. Okay, just don't do this first. Do this first. And this, my friends, is just 2 because remember, it's 4a over 2a and the a's become 1, right? A divided by a is 1. Your answer is 2. 2 times 2 would be, so all this gobbledygook is just 4. Okay? Don't panic. Take your time with these. Follow the rules. Let's see. There is a little exponent stuff on the test. Just remember, if you have something like this, do the number first. 2 to the third power is 8. 2 times 2 times 2. A squared to the third power, this is a power of a power, so you have to multiply these. So it would be a to the 6th. Okay? This is different from a product of powers, which would be 2a squared. Say you had something like this. Okay, do the numbers first. That's 8. A squared times a to the third. Well, now what you're doing is you're just adding these. Okay? And remember I told you you could always expand these, which might make it easier. This is the same thing as 2a squared times 2a squared times 2a squared, right? 2 times 2 times 2, a squared times a squared times a squared, a to the 6th. Okay? Break it down. You know, it's like chopping down an oak tree, huh? You know, anything to the 0 power is 1. You've seen that a couple of times. Let's see. Oh, the negative exponents. You had one like this, I think, on the last test. You had 2 to the negative 3 over 1, I don't know. Just remember that when it's down here in the basement, when you bring it up, this is 2 to the positive 3. Okay? Now, conversely, that's a fancy word. Conversely, if you have 2 to the negative 3 over 1, when this goes down here, it becomes 1 over 2 to the positive 3. See? So when you cross that fraction bar and you've got a number with an exponent, just remember to change the sign of the exponent. Okay? You guys are going to have to watch this a couple of times, this video. Yeah, just stop it. You know, stop, start, stop, start. All right. If you have a right triangle and they ask you, and say you got, I don't know, minus 1 over here and 2x plus 2 and 3x minus 4, something like this. And they tell you that, well, when you add these up, you get a certain number, 60, I don't know, 120, whatever. Now, I know to add these up because they're telling us what the perimeter is. The perimeter is the sum of the sides. Okay, so it's got x in them. Don't panic. This 5x minus 1, it's a number. We just don't know what it is yet. The secret number is x. Once you find out what x is, okay, you can just plug it back in. In this case, they want to know what the hypotenuse is. Last time it was the height. So you had to plug in the value for x over here. I think it was 4 maybe. 4 times 2 is 8, plus 2 is 10, so the answer was 10. I think the answer was 18. Okay, but take a look at that problem. You're going to get another one, only they're not asking for the height, they're asking for the hypotenuse. You know what the hypotenuse is. It's the side opposite the right angle. at 90-degree angle. Okay, slope. Got to know your slope equations. You know, like if you had y equals 2x minus 3, the slope is 2. This is y equals mx plus b. That's the formula, right? This m is the slope, the b is the y-intercept, okay? So be careful, because they may give you something like this: 2y equals 2x minus 3. Well, before you can grab that number in front of the x, you've got to make this 1. That's 1y. So now your slope is 1. See? Make sure you change it to slope-intercept form. All right? Now that's if you're dealing with slope-intercept form. The other form is standard form. You might have 6x minus 2y equals 12. All right. Dirty, dusty attic over basement. Remember? This gives you slope. This gives you the slope. In this case, the ax plus by equals c. That's the formula. I got this equation. Well, that looks like a negative 6, right? Over, ooh, look, negative 2. So the slope would be 3. Don't have to change anything around. Don't have to change this to slope-intercept form. Okay? They make it easy for you. All right? Now, if they're asking for y-intercept, now it's the chimney over the basement. It's that constant number, constant c over b. Okay, b is in the basement. So, I don't know, what was that? Say it's 13 over whatever that was. Okay, so this would be the y-intercept. Okay? Here's another thing that's on the test. If you're given, say you're given 3x plus 2y equals 13 again. Okay, if I want to know, here, let's make it easy, 18. If I want to know what the y-intercept is, I said this in class 100 times. X is 0 when you have a y-intercept. Okay? So 3 times 0 plus 2y equals 18. That's gone. Now you divide both sides by 2. Y is 9. 0, 9 is the y-intercept. Okay? If you give me just 9, I'll give it to you. Okay? Because 9 is the algebraic y-intercept. This is the more of a geometric y-intercept. Okay? If you want to know what the x-intercept is, where the line crosses the x-axis, okay, now you're making y 0. Okay, that's gone. 3x equals 18, x equals 6. I divided both sides by 3. Okay? Pretty easy. All right. Let's see what else is on this. You have your notes. I've taken some things. I want to find out who's taking good notes. All right. There's stuff on this test directly from your notes. All right. I tell you day after day, take notes in the class. When Ms. Rahman comes, she's going to tell you the same thing. All right. Notes and math go together. Okay. Let's see. If you have points, can you find the slope? Sure, you know the slope formula. It's y sub 2 minus y sub 1 over x sub 2 minus x sub 1. In this case, It's 4 minus a negative 3, 0 minus 3. This looks to be 7 over minus 3. There's your slope. Okay? I could have given you a point slope form. I didn't. I wanted to keep the test short. And I didn't want it so hard. Okay. Last but not least, guys, I've loved working with you. I'm going to miss you guys. And like I said, though, you know, it's probably not the last time you'll see me. Okay? Watch this video a couple of times. All right? It'll help you on the test. Okay? Good luck.